Welcome to ThriveSpace, a space where you learn faster. In this tutorial, I am going to teach you the 5 laws of design, layout, and composition. Leave a comment below and let me know what else you like, and I will add it to the list of videos for my next content. Okay, grab your PC and let's start. In this video, we will have 5 laws of layout composition that are instantly going to make your designs look more professional and engaging. Law number 1, grid systems. Modular grids are made up of a series of rows and columns. These are separated into modules, which can be used to organize text and imagery. This helps with alignments and give you a professional layout structure to use in your designs. It can use the simple graphics, more editorial-style designs, or even more complex examples like these. Now, I work mainly in Illustrator, so I'm going to show you how to make a modular grid in Illustrator. Going to take the Marquee tool, or press the M key, and we're going to draw a rectangle around the entire artboard. I want a 3 mm gutter around the edges, so I'm going to reduce the height and width by 6 mm. I'm going to come to Object to Path Split into Grid. I want a 6-column grid with a 3 mm gutter, so I'm going to come put those values in Turning Preview on so I can see what I'm doing. Then I hit OK, and draw another rectangle around those columns. Now to apply the rows, so on 8 rows with the 3 mm gutter. Now, if I select all of that and go to View Guides, Make Guides. You see, that's turned into a grid system. Text imagery and shapes or snap to this, making a line a little bit easier. And you'll see this little grid system in use throughout the rest of the video. Law number 2, hierarchy and proximity. This is probably the fastest way to create pace and better visual engagement in the design. It's going to make whatever you're designing more disruptive to catch the viewer's attention, as well as help communicate in the right order. So if you take a look at this simple text layout here, we have the headline Black Friday Sale, which is taking up half of the page. That's the first thing we want viewers to see, then telling the view of what they get exactly with 20% off. Everything directly underneath. We're doing this in a black bar to underline Black Friday Sale, and notice I've locked those two up together in the same proximity. Reason being, cause those 2 bits of information relate to each other. We want the viewer to sort of read them together one after the other. Then got the logo applied again to create a bit of pace and visual disruption, not in a way that's overbearing or drawing your eye away from the headline too early. We then got some product information at the bottom of the page, which the viewer can get into once we've managed to get their attention. Using icons, in this case, really helps to pull each point apart and make them more individual. And I personally kept photography more pared back, be more of a mood setup. We don't want this to be one of the main pieces of communication in this instance. Now I'm going to show you how not to do it. So in this example, I was still technically got okay, hierarchy, but there's just not much pace or visual engagement, and everything is kind of bunched up together in the same proximity, so it's going to be harder to get the viewer to read the design in the correct order. That's why it's always important to consider hierarchy and proximity law. Number 3, create layering. This poster set is for a fictional company called Blue Skies. They provide a creative shared workspace with the aim of lifting creative opportunities and creative businesses to the next level. I really want to create this sense of uplift, and you can do that with layering. So let's take one of the posters for example. I've got all the information laid out, and step by step, I can create much more layering depth and movement. So first, I'm going to bring in a second font, Instantly Starts, create a little bit more paste. Then we're going to layer that over the photo, start to create some depth in the poster. Now we're going to layer that bit more, having some of the text in front of the photo and some of it behind, so you really start to get the sense of movement going up the page. I've also added a bold blue border to frame the poster and redraw your attention. And finally, to add a sense of creativity and organization, that is some subtle grid systems and handwritten notes over the top of the imagery, just to give that little bit more depth. And here, you can see the full transformation. The principles of layering and depth can be applied in all sorts of other ways. I'll get some more of that later in the video. Law 4, harmonize colors. So look at this garish mess. The only thing really wrong with this is the color palette. I'm going to show you how I create color palette that integrate into your workflow and are easy to keep consistent across larger complex designs. So I've just drawn 2 squares here. I'm going to use the eyedropper tool to select one of the lighter colors in the background. The photograph's slightly too yellow, so I'm going to make it a bit more neutral. Then I want a darker color, so I'm going to take that from the tree. Then I select both of them, come to my swatches panel, and click New Color Group. They want selected artworks, hit They can leave the settings as they are, and click OK. And you see that's created a new color group in your swatches panel. You want these to be global colors. You'll see why in a minute, so just double-click each one, hit Global and click OK. Now I'm going to come and change my background to the lighter color and change my text to the brown. Easy way to select all the text: if you click one element, come select and then select Same Fill Color. Now let's say I decide the background is a bit too yellow, and I want to make it more earthy because I made it a global color. I can just come in and double-click the swatch and change the color from here, which really helps when you're dealing with a lot of artboards, or if this color is applied to a number of shapes and text. Just means I can change it all at once without having select anything. So I've made that more green. I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to change the brown little bit as well. Make that a bit more green. And I'll come in and change the stroke to green as well, just by breaking the fill to the stroke down the left. Here, let's say you want to predefine your color palette. There are a lot of fancy tools out there. Personally, I just like to come to Google Images and just search for the sort of color palette you want. So I'm just going to go for a natural color palette. And as you can see, there's a multitude to pick from. So yeah, keep it simple. On to law number 5. Create focal points. So let's come back to this design that we saw earlier. I've created a clear focal point on the man on the left, and the suit he's layered on top of the background graphics, which sort of cutting across him in a slightly different direction. That gives him a lot of standout. So he'll be the first thing that viewers see when they look at the design. Next we have the quote on the right again, much larger than the rest of the text than the design. So that will be the first thing that viewers read. Then we got some qualifying information locked up with that, in same proximity. So viewers are likely to read that after quote. And finally, we have a call to action in this yellow band at the bottom. The reason we put that in this bright yellow is to make sure it's not forgotten about, and try to spur the user into actually clicking it. Okay, this is all I have for you today. If you found this video helpful, please support this channel. Hit the subscription button and subscribe. Turn on your notification button for more content to come your way from us. Like, share, and comment. Thank you for watching ThriveSpace. Thank you for supporting our channel.